And another part of that utensil piece, if we think about it, is the pans and the pots that we're using. A lot of them have like a Teflon coating that's like a plastic. And so if you're using those and you're scraping them, anything that's nonstick and you're scraping, you're going to be releasing that into your food. So really looking at some of those options as well. Use stainless steel pots and pans that whatever you can. Cast iron is a good option that you can use.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Fab Fertile TV. I'm Sarah Clark.
And I am Brandy Bosco.
Awesome. Today we are talking about plastics. So I don't know if you've seen on the internet, there's that big island of plastic waste that's floating around the ocean. I was just reading actually saying that plastic bags are the second most form of plastic found in the ocean, I guess second to cigarette butts, which is when I saw that island of waste, it's just shocking. But really, why is this important for your fertility? Why is getting rid of plastics important?
Yeah, I mean, not only does it have the environmental impact, but there's a couple of things in plastic. So the biggest one is BPA. A lot of people have heard of this. It's kind of been in the news a lot in recent years, and so you're seeing a lot of BPA-free plastics on the market. The problem with BPA-free is that they're still using other chemicals that act similarly to BPA. They are endocrine disruptors, meaning that they do interfere with hormones, and so you don't want to be exposing yourself to those chemicals all the time. The other problem with plastics is that they have a chemical called phthalates, and phthalates are really well known to interfere with fertility in men and in boys, so especially boys in utero. So if you're exposed to a lot of phthalates while you're pregnant, that can actually have an effect on your unborn child. If it's a boy, their fertility and testosterone getting older. So it's a really important thing to consider and look at now, especially preconception. Make the switches that you can make. And nowadays, it's a lot easier to do that. So we'll talk about some of the ways that you can do that, some of the things where you might want to consider making the switch.
Yeah, so first of all, you can switch with your grocery bags. So bringing those reusable bags, I think there's a huge push on doing this. For me, I don't know, it took me years to remember to bring the reusable bags. They literally, first of all, they'd sit in the kitchen closet or the cupboard, and then they would make it to the car, and then they still wouldn't make it to the store. But now I'm just in the routine of like, wait, when I go, they just go in the grocery cart, and it's amazing that I don't need to have the whole bag, the whole van packed full of plastic bags. You only, with the reusable ones, you only need, I don't know, it's the same shop, but you end up using like maybe 4 bags. They're easier.
Yeah, and it's nice now there's a lot of states and even some provinces here in Canada we're starting to ban the use of those plastic bags, and they're charging you for them. So
That's
it's
right.
making you think twice. So that is a good option. The other thing to think about is the plastic bags that you use to put your produce in. So, I mean, I know I'm guilty of doing that, but there are options now where you can buy cloth bags. A lot of organic markets, you can buy these reusable cloth bags. You can bring them with you and then wash them when you're done using them. So there's a lot of ways that you can look for that. Definitely look online. Etsy, I'm sure, has lots of different options where people are making these bags that you can just buy and reuse them and store your produce in those bags rather than using the cheap plastic bags that they just have available to you at the grocery store.
Yeah, I haven't used those, but I haven't used those bags in years. I just basically gather what I want and throw it in the cart and then wash it when I get home.
Mhm.
Another option to look at is to to reduce the products that you actually are buying that are in plastic. So the tomatoes come in the plastic container, the things that are packaged in plastics. And then if you do buy them like that, when you bring it home, transfer it to a glass container. So again, it was like years of me doing this, of transferring out the whole plastic Tupperware city I had going on to more of glass containers. And it takes a little bit of time there, but really, as things come in that are packaged in plastic, moving it to a glass container.
Yeah, and I mean it's getting easier. There's some things you can't avoid it, but as soon as you bring it home, put it in a different packaging. Another big one is cans. So a lot of the cans on the market are lined with BPA. And this is especially important for things that are acidic. Think tomatoes. You get a lot of tomato sauce and canned tomatoes in cans. And so opt for getting them in glass. There are more and more options on the shelf now where you can buy them in glass. There's also some companies out there that do offer BPA-free canned items. So one of the ones that I can think of off the top of my head, I know Trader Joe's. So in the US, Trader Joe's has a lot of products in cans that are BPA free. Annie's Organic, I think, has some things that are in cans that are BPA free. So you can definitely take a look. I believe the Environmental Working Group probably has a list of those companies that use BPA free canned items. So that's one for you to think about and look at as well.
Some of the beans and things that I buy, I think it's Eve's. They say BPA free on the can.
Yes.
Yeah, another thing to look at is your utensils. So again, I go back to me. Years we had these plastic utensils that we were using in the house with our spatula and our spoon. Probably got them from the dollar store, and lo and behold, as Brandy and I were just chatting, the black ones are actually the worst, and those are the ones we had.
Yeah, and we did the same thing, and it's just, it's making that switch. And again, they're getting easier to find. Like, you can get stainless steel ones. You can even get those at the dollar store. I wouldn't say those are probably the best quality, but if that's your switch, then that's a start. So stainless steel wood, wooden spoons like our grandmothers used to use all the
Mm-hmm.
time. And then there's silicone options that are coming out now, which are really good. And another part of that utensil piece, if we think about it, is the pans and the pots that we're using. A lot of them have like a Teflon coating that's like a plastic. And so if you're using those and you're scraping them, anything that's nonstick and you're scraping, you're going to be releasing that into your food. So really looking at some of those options as well. Use stainless steel pots and pans whatever you can. Cast iron is a good option that you can use. Glass is a good option. There are some ceramic models on the market, something like La Crusette. Those are expensive and it's an investment, but they do have some enameled cast iron pans, and you could have them for a really long time. So thinking about some of those switches, and again, don't throw everything out at once, but slowly make that switch.
And I have I switched over to NeoFlam, which is a frying pan that I use, I actually use that for basically for everything, for reheating, for cooking, for like it's one pan and I use it all the time. I have a few pots just for boiling things, but yeah, NeoFlam is a good one, and it's a non-stick silicone, I guess. Is it silicone? Yeah, I think it's silicone surface. But yeah, definitely with these, kind of be aware of what you have in your house, slowly make the switch. And awesome. Anything else on this one, Brandy?
And just, I mean, the biggest one that we use all the time is Tupperware. So switch out your Tupperware to glass. It's super inexpensive now. You can go to Costco and get a big pack of them super cheap, $20, $30. Really easy to do. Tupperware. And then if at all possible, avoid using plastic wrap. If you have to use it, definitely don't reheat foods with it on. But there are other options out there that you can use. Use those containers, those glass containers. Those are going to be better than using plastic wrap. Use, something like parchment paper, or they have something called as like bees wrap now, where
Yeah, I've heard of it.
it's a cling, and it's you could reuse it and wash it. And so there's a lot of different options out there. So just some things to think about when it comes to plastics, and using plastic straws. Another one, you can get glass straws, stainless steel straws. And then when you're going out to like the coffee shop, rather than using those styrofoam cups, those have some similar things in there. Bring your own to-go cup. Sometimes they'll even give you a discount because you brought your own cup and you're not using one of their cups. So just some strategies and things to think about to avoid the chemicals that are in plastics and things that are like plastics in your environment.
Absolutely. And number one is to make sure that your water bottle is either glass or stainless steel. So there's tons of cool ones on the options on the market. So select one that works for you. Awesome. And if you wanted to chat about how we can help with your fertility and prepare your body for a baby, just click on the link below and you can book your free consult. So have a fabulous day, and we'll talk soon.